So Jerry Maddox has died. He was an influential figure down here in Point St. Charles for a long time. He was 85 years old. Definitely a criminal legend. He was the youngest of 14 in a family that grew up near the Costco on Bridge Street. It was called Goose Village. These guys were extremely industrious. They used to get involved in every type of theft. I believe that they had a bit of a credo that was to give back to the poor whenever they could. They used to hold a Santa Claus parade in Point St. Charles. They did the whole thing with the floats, fake Santa Claus throwing things off. Jerry wasn't a saint, but they weren't too violent. There was an affair where a guy said that he almost got killed by the Maddox brothers, but they were acquitted because they had so many friends to testify to their alibi, support them, that got dismissed. So Jerry was definitely the last of his generation. He was the youngest of the 14. His other brother, Richie, died in 2017. That's 8 years ago. Richie was a bit crabby. Jerry was quite affable. I never met either of them, but I've researched them a lot. Some of the stories are pretty incredible. They had a brother, Jackie, who was considered the pioneer of Irish influence at the port. He really got things moving for the group. And then Jerry took over. He was involved in some contraband importation in the early 2000s and ended up in prison behind bars. I don't think he enjoyed being behind bars. It was a bit of cognitive dissonance because he considered himself a philanthropist. He got so many groups to testify about his generosity, and there was a lot of bitterness when he was in jail. But he got out and lived a normal life after that. Don't really hear much about him in recent years. I always tried to get an interview somehow with him, but it never worked. Anyway, the Maddox era has ended. You know, these guys, they couldn't even read and write. He was quite honest about that. He would tell people, I'm just an illiterate cattle farmer. Wasn't really based in Point St. Charles at all in recent years. He was on the South Shore. So that's the story. Jerry Maddox, crime legend, dead at age 85 yesterday. I'm Christian. Tell me what you think.